You know, we hit 200 subscribers the other day, which, I don't know. Nothing really to celebrate over, I guess, when you think about it. It'll take me, I don't know, probably 5 years to get to 1,000 and actually do something with the channel. It's all good. Doesn't matter. What does matter, and that I keep forgetting to do, is we gotta loop these transmission lines, or the transmission, you know, that thing we can barely see and get to. Let's get a light. Right, those lines, way down there. Way down. Let's make some room. You like my thermostat connector? Nothing left of it. Still works though. Yeah, these lines down here where yeah, let me zoom in. Yeah, those lines right there need to be looped. But we need to get some fluid in there too. Are we gonna do this? Don't know. I don't know if that works. I hope it does. Here's the line we're gonna use. The way I see it is we're gonna put it on one side. I didn't notice those are different sizes. Put it on this side. We're gonna put a tiny bit of fluid in here. And then we're just gonna loop it onto the other side. We don't care if it really crinks or what happens, because this is all just to keep the fluid in there. I wish there was a better way. Alright, let's see what happens if we take this off. We're just gonna get, oh man, I wish I could. Fluid coming out. Are we full? We're not full. That'll do. Good job, guys. Thanks for being there, all. Hey, everyone. Well, we're not quite there. So I guess the electrical starts here, but we got to clean up this power steering rack fitting plate thing that goes over top. So we'll just soak it in brake clean, give it good scrub, and paint it with black. And that's all we're going to do with that. On to the electrical, which is coming up here. So there's some things we need to accomplish. We need to get the motor, that motor right there, on the rack, not on the rack, on the steering column. Needs to get power and ground. So the power and the ground we discussed before, they're going to run behind the dash, they're going to go out the fender, they're going to connect to the distribution box that we decided to put there. Should work great. And yeah, so this is us. We bought some quick connects for an 8-gauge wire. think we showed you this in another video. So this is basically us making all the wires, making all the connections, figuring out where everything's going to go. I'm not sure how those plug and play kits do it. They obviously must go straight to the battery for the amount of amperage they pull. I don't think you're going to push that through the OEM fuse box, one or the other. But anyway, we'll run our own cable. We'll get it done right. We also need to clean up all those wires in the dash still and get everything situated there. It also proved to be a bit more work for the wires that go where the power steering motor is now. So there was some wires there, and you couldn't push them back. They would get wedged between the gas pedal and the motor, and that's the gas pedal. When you push it down, there's another part that kind of comes up to pull on the cable. And you couldn't put them in front of the motor. That wasn't working either. Then it'd have to be tied up tight to the bottom of the dash, but there's nothing to attach them there. So that took some work, took some planning. That's the kind of thing that people won't tell you about. And of course, we're running this 3/4 inch loom with the wire in it in the back of the HVAC out the side of the passenger side. So I want the loom just because there's a lot of amperage, thick wire in the back where no one can see it. We don't want any pinching, anything that'll cause an arc or issues with this. And then we're going to put a circuit breaker on the far end as well anyway. So let's get to it. So yeah, we got to figure out a way to get the wires from here to the engine bay. I don't think there's any way to get. Is there anything down this passageway? I don't think so. Oh, what's down that hole? Anyway.
CBS at what time? 9 o'clock. And if I want to watch it, what day? Monday 9 o'clock. And this is on the radio? No, it's television. Mondays at 9 on CBS. And if I want to see it, what time should I watch it? 9 o'clock. On what channel? CBS. What day? Right. On the radio? Television. Turn the television to what channel? CBS. At what time?
Alright, with the fender off, we can see what we're trying to do. So, used to be a grommet in the, that actually goes inside behind the blower box where the dash is, but we squeezed extra wires through here. There used to be this grommet in there, and we don't have any room to squeeze another. Maybe we can take this plug out. I don't know where it goes. And I believe we can't use this hole. This is the top of inside. Yeah, that's just I don't know where that is. That's under the wiper cowl. We need in here. So, and we have a 3/4 inch thing to pull through. How nice. How nice. What are we gonna do? Make a new hole? Yeah, this plug over here comes over right underneath here. Right there. So we're gonna knock that plug out. We're gonna use that hole, make it larger if we need to, and we're gonna route the whole cable in behind everything. In behind the dash, yeah. Should be coming through right in here. We got no choice but to just go over top of other things. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, so we're feeding it in over there. We're pulling it in. Pulling it behind this HVAC. Pretty nicely actually, there's just enough room. Just gotta figure out whether it should go above or below all these wires. We still got a blower motor to squeeze in here, which is already hard to do because me rerouting these wires already. But I guess we'll squeeze them behind, maybe. Alright, when this all gets pushed in, where does everybody go? Nowhere, obviously. He needs to be there. He almost needs to go in this little spot. I can't believe we're doing this. Come on, baby. Yeah, we need this 3/4 inch to go in there. Sorry, just thinking. And a 1/2 inch. Well, we'll jump straight to the chase. We need the 3/4 inch and 3 1/2 inch. 3 1/2 inch guys to go in that hole. Now, what would the diameter of that be? A lot. And why try and stuff them through and squeeze them through and possibly risk cutting a wire? We need to make that hole bigger. But I don't have, I have a hole saw, but there's nothing for it to bite onto to keep it centered. I have a Dremel, but I can't get the angle to cut the way I want. I have, yeah, that's about it. I think this is gonna have to be I haven't figured it out yet, how to cut this open properly, but we're gonna think on it.
But I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before the noon. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed. When we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it.
got a sticky button on the camera and it just shuts off automatically. As I was saying, it left a little bit of loop in that power wire because it keeps it up away from the gas pedal, and why not? And we got the spare, we got enough. So we'll assume it's final, and we'll cut the ends accordingly to the length I need. Alright, so here's the one that was in the car for 10 years, we'll say. Battery coming in, feeding, alternator, ECU, and the starter all in here. So major point, we need 4 to add the power steering. So we did get this one, and yeah, I don't know. We did get this guy. He looks okay-ish, I guess. He's nothing really wrong with him. We get this guy too. Looks pretty identical to the other guy. It looks like maybe he comes with inserts. Maybe. And this is the guy. Look at this. We got this in the trunk. It's just, it's so heavy. It's so. Oh yeah. There's some weight there. These things. Even this guy. So cheap. I don't know. This would be like a kicker stereo unit. You can tell by the amount of metal in that. Man, that's amazing. So we'll put this up in the engine bay. We take it from the trunk. We'll put this in the trunk because all it's got to do is power 2 amps, and that'll be good to go there. So we'll focus on getting this in, where it's going to go, how it's going to go. You got to think of how the wires are coming in here, how they're going to be routed, how they're going to be twisting around. If you're having them 4 straight up, they're going to hit the coolant reservoir. That's why I think before I was using an angle to kind of bring them up this corner in the back, but I don't think we're going to do 4. So then you say, well, let's put the 4 down, facing down, and they'll come in, right? They'll come in and they'll get their connection down below. Well, they're coming in this hole by the headlight, in the back of the headlight, below the headlight, down. So that's fine if they'll reach, but then the input from the battery needs to go in the top. So there's a lot of wires, and we got to figure out how this is going to get connected and how we're going to secure it, and right, how much room we need with the coolant reservoir bottle, which I do wish I could move. Alright, here's what we got. So we started putting everything back together. Had to move all the wires in that upper corner when you push the gas pedal and it comes out at the top because it's by wire. It was hitting all the wires. So it took a lot of work to get all these wires kind of out of the way. Had to relieve some tension at the other ends, I guess you could say. And so I'm probably really loud because I'm close to the camera. Anyway, so everything's hooked in. Tighten the bolts. We're gonna start kind of, you know, putting ignitions back on and the wiring, and look at some photos on where everything needs to go. The wire, pink wire for the controller box is a key on, and I know we can get key on from the first spare fuse spot in the fuse box, which is already taken by, what was it, fog lights? It's on the whiteboard. Pods? I don't even know what that is or why I wrote it. The mirrors and the rear fog. Okay. Anyway, they're key on. Not sure. I somehow need to tap into one of those. This is a aftermarket alarm system that I always thought I would use and be able to tap into and use the fuses. And more it just gets in the way. Anyway, let's see if we can look at some photos, figure out where a lot of this goes. We know this goes to the steering wheel somewhere to feed the ignition, I think, and something else, or oh yeah, the signal light wire things. Yeah. Alright, starting to look familiar. Alright. Pretty much I need a key on source for this, but I know where I can get it. Gotta do some wiring there. But I'd say everything is where it should be. Final fitment. Looks great. Nice to clean up wires always. Let's move on. We're gonna leave. There was a little bit of a loop in the giant wire going to the power steering. I left that slack up there. We've got a sticky button on the camera and it just shuts off automatically. As I was saying, it left a little bit of loop in that power wire because it keeps it up away from the gas pedal, and why not? And we got the spare, we got enough. So we'll assume it's final and we'll cut the ends accordingly to the length I need. Okay, been a little bit because the heater, had a heater in the garage and it broke, and it's winter time out, and it was minus 30 Celsius outside the past 2 days, which is I think minus 22 Fahrenheit, so way too cold to be working. with no heat, your fingers simply do not work. But we replaced the Amazon 4800 watt hair dryer piece of junk with this thing, which works amazing. It's really good actually. It's meant to hang in the corner, of course, hardwired in, that kind of thing. This is a 6,000 watt versus the old one, which was 4,800, and quieter. Has a Wi-Fi, so it's on your smartphone. You can schedule it. It's amazing. Love it, love it, love it. And allows us to get back to work too. Awesome. All right, let's finish this up. It's been a while. All right, so we're gonna split things here. So we got the fuse we had, inline fuse, going to the distribution box. We're gonna just loop it a little bit, cut it right here, right, crimp it together, hot gun it, and keep it in the same. Try and keep it in the same large loom here. The negative is going to go down and loop onto the transmission ground with a bunch of other ones. I could go over here, but I think that's like a 12 millimeter or 14, and I don't have an end with a hole that size. It will fit on the 10 millimeter down here, so we'll just do that. Now, the only debate now is, do I continue this large, half-inch loom along with the ground? Or do I cut it here and put both wires into like a more of a 4 gauge? No. What would that be? 8 gauge? So that's all we're deciding here. So we just got to do that. And we're going to redo this starter wire. It's got like some loom, but then no loom, and it's just tape, and then back to loom again. We're just going to remove that and put some good loom on it now that we have some. So, yeah. We do have the fabric loom too. I try not to use it for areas where rocks might hit and it's high, amp wire. So that's why I use the other stuff, the plastic stuff up here, or sorry, down there. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of what we were going for. Excuse me. So basically just like this. So we have distribution block. I'm not too happy with the wires I could not get in. Tried 3 times. My OCD will make me fix that. It is in there. Anywho, yeah, we'll hide it. This is what we got, kind of what we wanted. Left some extra positive wire for the fuse, and we got the grounds, 3 grounds now, and 4 power wires coming out. ECU, alternator, power steering, and well, ECU, I mean the fuse box and the starter. So that'll do, and then this should still slide in here as it does, and there you go. Can't see anything, all goes under the headlight. Glad I made that hole deeper downwards because I needed the room for the headlight in here. That's how it's gonna work. We might tie things up a bit tighter, but that's perfect. All we got now is the 12 volt ignition wire to do, and then we can test. Okay, so what we want to see is, well, one, do the wheels turn, you know, normally. We gotta make it quieter in here too. So let's get this wheel on here. Let's stop around and do some testing. Power is off. The key will let us unlock. So the question, do the wheels turn fine? I think we're gonna say yeah. Turn all the way. How many is this? 1.5. Did I do this right? I do have been right. There's the middle. I remember we asking about, like, does the U-joint work properly? I'm gonna say yes, that works just fine. I guess the noise, the little clunk I'm hearing is from the wheel not being secure all the way. Yeah, that works. Yeah. Oh. It works fine. No grinding, no issues. Everything should be centered. well, when I, right there's center, kind of center. I think we're gonna have to figure that one out. Put the wheels on and make sure center is center. Maybe center's center. Okay, so yeah, that works with no power. So let's see if we can get power connected. I think I need to just double check some wires before I can turn the key. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, I think it's this time. We're gonna leave the, I think that's, yeah, the whole stereo, blinkers, four-way flashers, cigarette lighter, harness. We're going to leave that unplugged. It also splits off to the whole rear of the car for the taillights and all the other bulbs that need power back there. Not sure what else. There's really no harm in plugging this in right quick, actually. 1 second. So, let's hope when we turn the key that nothing goes boom. And then we'll try the key on and then the steering. We think we're okay over there. Sure, why not? Are we in gear? Don't matter. We're not starting it. Clutch won't be in, so... Yeah. What's gonna happen when I flip this switch? Okay. Nothing, but we got door lights. Except for this door. That's fine. Oop, fuel pump. Forgot about that. No, I don't think this is working. I mean, shouldn't you hear it? I don't hear anything. Definitely don't hear this motor. Assuming it makes no noise. Alright, let me double check some things. We know it's got power. And that wire for key on we could test. Make sure it's got 12 volt coming out of 12 volt coming on that green wire for ignition. Nothing. Oh yeah, 11.94. Yep. So you can't see that, but the key on, because it splits and it feeds both of these, but it's where are you? 11.94. Yeah. Going to this wire, so it should be working. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's. I think you would hear it. Yup. Maybe it needs more resistance with the wheels on the ground. I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, wheels are on the ground. Key on. One finger. I don't think so. No. No way. We got the wrong wire for the key on. Okay. Obviously it's gonna have power, I'm guessing. I don't know if I can get anything metal in here. It's almost like he's not getting power, maybe? Let's go check the engine bay. My voice, oh, there it is, 12.1. So he's got power. So it's almost like it's the wrong controller power wire. What was the pink guy? Complete opposite end, number 16. He was, CAN L. So CAN bus low, there's a CAN bus high. That's what I was giving 12 volts to. Yay! So I think we're gonna try orange. Blue, I guess, was the other guy. And he's... I do wish I could take this out now. It's so hard to... Okay. Alright, so yeah. Pink was there. Blue is across from pink the other way. Alright, just to make sure, yeah. Pink and blue are right beside each other at the end. Orange is all separate. Orange is the guy we want to have power. And the CAN bus low for the pink. The blue right across from him, number 9, is CAN bus high. So I think we just gotta move wires. You know what? We're thinking we want a fuse on this. I still think it's a good idea if I have one. I can't remember if these are fused in here. I just want to say no. Wonder if I have something. I think I may too. So green wire goes to orange wire. We've got a lot of room to work now. Off half of that wire. Yeah, cut some stuff. Pull on some wire. I know you can't see. Hold on. What are we doing? Oh yeah, getting kinky with the orange wire. I hope this works. We need a fuse. One sec. Blow. I wonder if you had 12 volts. Oh, and you weren't plugged in. You're funny. Alright. Cross your fingers. And the keys are out. Alright. Key on. Turn the wheel. What? Oh. It is working. Pretty sure that's working. So to test, let's key off. Oh, I heard it unclick, turn off. Yeah. Disconnect this wire. Key on. Oh yeah. Alright, that was it. So orange wire needs power. Maybe a fuse, it wouldn't hurt. And totally works. Oh. Alright, yeah, this is great. So yeah. Definitely got it working. Let's do it one more time for fun. You must hear the tires screeching on the garage floor. Now they're not fully weighted. There's a jack there somewhat, but let's see. I can show you guys. So yeah, there's one finger, no problem. Two finger, yeah, two finger moving. And if we show you what it's like, hear the relay click off. Yep. Alright, sorry the battery died. Let's give it, without the thing having power, if we do the same test, I can't even move it. Oh, we got steering lock, so one sec. No, we can't even move it with my whole arm. Ah, it works! Alright, great news. Awesome news. Yeah. All right, let me calm down and clean up, and we'll get back to everyone. And yeah, this is a great moment. Great. Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right. Key on. Two fingers. No problem. Key off. Relay clicks off. Yep. One thing I'm noticing, and this is FYI for all, to get steering lock and get the wheels centered, the wheels aren't straight. Alright, if we say, I think this is lock, so there's lock, the wheel is straight, this is not, there's no way that's straight. And I can see it's not straight, that's okay. So this would have been my fault. I had some time to kind of think about it, what needs to adjust. Think what I needed to do was keep the wheels straight like they were, no problem. But before I put the steering column in, put it in wheel lock, so the threads that line up are lining up in wheel lock. And I don't think it was in wheel lock, because I never had the key which does the wheel lock, and it, yeah. So what do we got to do? I think we got to undo the spline down here, which I don't hate doing, to the wheels to be straight, undo the spline lock, turn the wheel to lock, put the splines back in. It's going to be a pain in the ass. I don't think there's room to take the middle shaft off anymore. I think the whole column needs to kind of come out again. Or we do it the tie rod end. I don't think that's going to do it. So we'll say if I make it look fairly straight, we're going to measure it, of course. That side looks almost like I can't tell, so it's good. This side doesn't. This side, I see this side coming out first. Well, we could say maybe the fender's not on, which it's not. So we're gonna have to measure this. This definitely looks out. So we'll try and set up some kind of measuring device to measure these off the hub. And then we will disconnect the spline in there. We'll take it off if we need to. We'll get it back on when it's in wheel lock and everything's straight. Should have put it on in wheel lock mode, but couldn't because the key controls it for this thing underneath, but I still should have put that on. Lesson learned. We're gonna see how much room we got. Let's get at her. Okay, yep, we had to, man, that, just fast forward through all those frames. What a headache that was. The wheels were straight, but the wheel lock was crooked. And the wheel was crooked. But you can take the steering wheel off, turn, and put it back on, but that didn't solve the wheel lock. The wheel lock only engaged when the wheels were turned. And I was like, so what I did wrong was I put the column in, attached it onto the rack, right, bolted everything up, good to go, didn't take that into account. The key mechanism wasn't even on it to lock it. So when I went to lock it and put it all together, it wasn't right. So ended up having to take it off, kind of, and the drive shaft part with the U-joints on it won't come out because there's not enough play there now. I think in the OEM way, you can slide it all the way down and release one part kind of thing. Can't do that anymore. So the whole steering column had to come down and then take it off, turn the wheel to lock, push it back on, but that's so hard to do with the splines and way down yonder where the feet go. And it just turned into a huge headache and a half. And what's worse is I did it, then I couldn't get the bolts lined up, and I stripped one of the bolts, the holes for the bolt, where the three go in on the underside of that column where you can't reach or can't see. So, and we had to take it down, move it off to the side, you know, tap that hole again, get the threads good, and then go back and then try again, all with holding that thing up. It's huge pain, but tap the hole, got the bolt in, got everything lined up, put a hammer in there to relieve the weight of it, and now everything's back to bolted up and good to go. So it works. I did order a 10 amp fuse, inline fuse for that controller wire that connects right into the fuse box. Definitely need a fuse on that. Besides that, nothing. We're good to start putting the dash in and stuff like that. I think first I'm going to try and get the mirrors working again. That was the only thing wrong as far as I knew. But other than that, it's good to go. And I think we'll film a little more before posting the final update. But there's a lot of video editing going on as well. So yeah, we'll do that. And then we also ordered some stainless steel fittings, more of the fittings for the underside where the power steering gear mechanism was. It's now just air. You can block those passages. And we also, I think, ordered some of the same fittings for the front holes where the power steering mount was, because I can't find a plate. We're going to get decorative with some block off threaded, Allen key threaded type bolts that go in there. So we'll see. Let's continue on. Yeah. Alrighty. So I think we'll call this the end of the electrical series. We debated on ending it with this video, or with this at this time, I guess you could say, but we'll do up a video of putting it back together and making sure the wheel still is in the same spot, or obviously it should be, everything bolts up to the same spot. So we got to get the dash back in. For the power steering, we'll call it complete. We did order more of these things. These would be the block off plugs, but aluminum Allen key. Oh, good catch. For the rack open holes, because you don't want dirt and junk going in there. And should work fine even though they're plugged. Now, did order more of them for where the power steering bracket goes, because I can't find the plate. Some company used to make and sell a plate for that, a nice chrome or aluminum plate. Can't find them anymore. I don't have the tools to machine such a thing. I don't even know how you'd get the measurements for a shop to machine such a thing. So we'll use these for now. We'll keep an eye out for the other thing. We straightened out the alignment and the steering lock and the wheel. Yeah, very important to do that. Also a huge pain in the ass. And then I think that's about it for the power steering. We'll call it complete once we get the dash back in. The dash can't go in until we get the power folding mirrors working. That was the only thing that didn't work on the car. The bumper pull works. All the lights are working. There was the one, I guess we could look at that at some point. The one high beam on the passenger side doesn't work. No clue why. No idea why. Yeah, I've got to look into that. But yeah, we'll call it now. We'll just post a fourth one on final completion and putting it away. But we'll call this the end of electrical. But success, works great. Oh, the total cost. So some may be wondering. Did have a friend, he gave me the steering wheel column and the wheel for $60 from a junkyard and kept the motor on it. Thank you, kind sir. You know who you are. We had the welding shop down the road weld the column, and he said don't worry about it pretty much in the end, but that would have been like $250 welding stuff back together. That was it. We bought some wire, I guess you could say, right? That 8-gauge wire and some circuits and all that stuff. So maybe $50 or whatever you want to say. So we're into it for 200, possibly 400 or 500 along those lines. And that makes sense because there's that shop down in the US who's making these now for this car and other cars. They're charging about $1,000 to $1,200. So they're making probably half profit, 500 or more on doing these conversions. But how they get the measurements and do it the exact same time every time, Wow, that's good engineering there is what that is. So all good. Super glad it works. Super glad to get the engine bay cleaned up, and yeah, no concerns with this whatsoever. Can't wait. Can't wait to try it on the road too. Anyway, may post a fourth, might be assembly. If we don't, cheers guys. Thanks for following.